Alright, today we are going to talk about Space Quest 4, Roger Wilco and the Time Rippers. Now, I will say Space Quest 3, as I said previously, is probably my favorite Space Quest game, with Space Quest 4 probably coming into that close second. Now, if you watch the non-commentary version, which if you're that brave and sat through 2 hours and 45 minutes of me playing, you will see there's a part in Space Quest 4 where I actually landed myself in a dead end and had to restore further back. So anyway, in Space Quest 4, if you remember at the end of Space Quest 3, Roger Wilco dropped off the two guys from Andromeda and left, and now here we are. Space Quest 4, the sequel police are after Roger Wilco, and we learn Sludge Vohall is still alive, and he says, you know what? You're the only person who's ever beaten me, Wilco, and I've had a perfect record until you. Sorry, we have to kill you. And suddenly these two dudes jump up and save Wilco, and one of them says, hey, you know, I wish I had time to explain, but not now. Jump through this time rip. And Roger just jumps in. So we go from Space Quest 4 to Space Quest 12, Valhall's Revenge 2. So, Space Quest 4 visually is a great game. I love the art in this game. It's done so well. Very painting-esque look to them. So first we're going to walk around. One of the first things we're going to do is head over here, grab the rope. And we're gonna, there goes the energy bunny, and so that's where he turns. And this is one of those things where you actually get the rope and you're gonna use it on the same screen that you found it on, which is a very rare thing in a Sierra game. So you're gonna click on the rope, throw it down, and you're gonna want to avoid that zombie guy that just showed up. So being hidden right here was perfect timing. But you throw the rope down, grab the Energizer Bunny, as I just did, which breaks the rope. So now what you want to do is look at the Energizer Bunny, and it'll flip it over, and there's a panel, so you click the hand, and it takes out a battery. So now we have a battery and an Energizer Bunny, which, by the way, we never get rid of the Energizer Bunny at all. Usually in Sierra games, it'll say, yeah, you take out the battery, and you find no use for the Energizer Bunny, so you dispose of it. But that doesn't happen. And so we're going to go ahead and look in here. And there is a thing called a unstable ordnance. Now, I'm about to make a mistake, which you get to watch and laugh. So take it out of this skimmer, or whatever you want to call it, UFO. And this is the first time I recall seeing that robot, and thanks to Brandon Bloom, musically inspired, over on the Sierra Help forums, he told me that was added with the CD version of Space Quest 4, which makes sense because I probably played the disc version. Because back then I had a Tandy 1000 SX. So that was newly added and was not prepared for that. So anyway, we go into the other skimmer, open that thing up, and anyway, we're going to see my mistake here. I go down there, boom! So if you go into the sewer with the unstable ordnance, you blow up. So what you want to do is actually not keep the unstable ordnance. You get points for finding it, and I think points for putting it back. So that's what you want to do. Basically look at it, put it back, and it serves no other purpose other than to trick the player into taking it with them and killing them in the sewer. That's the sole purpose of it. So now we have a laptop that we got out of the skimmer that was in the dashboard. And it's called I want to say it's called a Pocket Pal terminal. You'll see it mentioned later on in the game. So now that we don't have the unstable ordnance, it's safe to go into the sewer. And in here, you can take a look around, and it's a pen, and lift the mat. Aha, there's a button. and this message appears that explains, here on Xenon, the computers took over. Essentially, there was a game called Leash Suit Larry 1 in the land of lounge lizards starring a character named Larry Laffer. Everyone got so involved with it, and eventually the computers took over everything, and this is why Xenon is in the mess that Xenon is. There's a few rebel soldiers still out there trying to fight Valhall, and but there are so few and scattered. The zombies that you see are actually some of the rebel soldiers that were turned into that. So now you know why those zombies are walking around. So now we're going to take a look. And what's odd is when you click the eye icon and it says you look at it or whatever, but it doesn't do anything. But clearly you need to go out that way. Now this is technically a maze, and this is pure luck that I did this, because you could go down, but Roger was facing forward, so I went forward and I just kept walking forward because I was going to map this. There's a way down, and then the slime comes. So what you're going to do is you're going to use the jar that you grabbed, get some slime, then you have a few moments to basically escape and climb up the ladder. You're going to go ahead and watch. The sequel police are now looking for you. And this is the part that always makes me nervous, because from here on, when you board this ship and sneak on as you do, the sequel police are now after you, and it gets really intense from this point on, especially when you get to the mall, which we're about to do here in a moment. So we see him disembark, and he went to the left. So I thought, well, okay, maybe we should go to the right, because I thought for a second that's where the time ships were, and it's not. There's a guy just waiting for you there at the right. So oddly enough, you also want to go to the left, and you'll witness another time ship show up, and the two sequel police talk about how he went to one of the planets that Roger had been on and not found him. So real quick, what you want to do is write down the code when you jump into your ship, because it's different for everyone. Well, I'm sure some people had the same code, but you want to write that code down because you're going to come back to Xenon. It doesn't remember it. You actually have to write it down. So I wrote down the Xenon code, but there was another one that I forgot. I think it was the mall. So I actually had to restore back to the mall to get the code to then restore back to where I was to jump to the mall. So I did this for fun. I put in a random code, which always takes you to the planet from Space Quest 3, where you need thermal underwear to survive. So if you just type in a random code the first time, this is where it's going to take you. And if you leave the ship, you die. So I jumped back to Xenon. So now we have the code for my game for Xenon. And I was trying to remember how we jumped to the next area. And once again, if you just type in random codes, it's always going to take you to this planet. And if you type in another random code that doesn't work, it's going to say, and they get excited. So now we're on the next planet that we need to be on. And you see it's now Space Quest 10, Latex Babes of Estros. So we're going to just go ahead and walk around here. And I am just going to forewarn you, I die several times here. So you see a giant bird flies by, and Roger goes, whoa, what was that? So there are several times I perish trying to move around this area. Like right there. Oh, and I should say, actually, I should say real quick, the first time you enter in a random series of numbers in the ship, it takes you to the planet from Space Quest 3 where you die. The second time you enter in, and you see real quick, there was a woman there. The second time you enter in the code, it'll take you to this planet. In case you're wondering how I figured out the code, it is the second time you enter in a code, it'll jump you here. And then as you walk down, you get swept up by the bird. I think you have to see the bird's shadow first before you get swept up, and then you get thrown into this nest. and one of the sequel police members gets thrown in there. Now, if you follow the standard procedure of Space Quest, you're going to want to search that body. And what you'll find is a gum wrapper, and if you open up that gum wrapper, there is part of a code in there. We're going to need that code. So now to crawl out, there's a small hole over to the bottom right, which this is so weird that Roger Wilco falls from here, but he survives because he lands in water. But if he falls from other places, apparently he doesn't land in water. And this gorgeous woman says, hey, how dare you come back here? You have a lot of nerve coming back after you left, said you couldn't settle. And Roger is completely confused. Not sure what's going on here with Roger, but it all makes sense by the time we reach the end. Or you may have already figured it out, considering we're in Space Quest 10, Latex Babes of Estros. Alright, so we head over here, no choice of our own, get strapped in a chair. I say, this is hot. And then they zap your pants off. Well, that seems odd. Why would they zap your pants off? Well, because the woman who does the torture is going to shave your legs, and it gets all the hair, she points out. But then you're saved by a sludge monster thing, and it tries to reach for you, and what you want to do is when it grabs your legs, hit the button, and it zaps it. So it releases you. Grab an oxygen tank. It grabs you. You want to grab the oxygen tank, throw it in its mouth. Boom. And the girls come out and say, you're my hero. And to celebrate, because they are apparently generic women of Estros, they want to go to the mall. Which I don't know how a mall is anywhere on this weird-looking planet, but it happens. Meanwhile, back over at Space Quest 12, A Hull's Revenge 2, the sequel police have captured the guy who helped Roger Wilco escape. And you find out it's Roger Wilco's son. So we find out that the mall isn't on a planet, it's on its own thing, but as women take off, what's that on the ground? Well, to me, it looks like some kind of card, so let's go ahead and pick it up. Why, yes, it is a credit card. Or ATM card, I should say. There we go. Software place is packed, can't get in there yet, but we will need to get in there. Oh, look, and there's an ATM. Need to move Roger out of the way a little bit. Put the ATM card in, it does a scan, looks at you and says, you're clearly not the woman. Now, this is where I messed up. I forgot to get the clothing as a woman. So if you go through these things at this other store, Hurts So Good, it's actually kind of fun just to listen to how this robot talks. But there's a few things in this catalog that it'll go through. We will have to come back here for something. So once again, I should point out, it is important to write down the code that you ended up generating by coming here. So you go through the electric gadgets. You can listen to some of the stuff that talks about. Some of it's pretty funny. And to go through them all, you just basically hit continue. And the Pocket Pal terminal, that's what you currently have. And then the Pocket Pal connector. So that's what we're going to need. But it is 1,999 buckzoids, which we don't have. But hey, let's go into Monolith Burger. Or not. We'll come back to that. So the big and tall, we're going to head in here, maybe get some pants. So he takes your measurements, says, I got just the thing for you. Heads over there, gets a pair of pants. You put them on, go into the dressing room. And now you have pants and boots that look exactly like the pants and boots you're wearing. So click on the Bugzoids, and if you click the Bugzoid and look, it'll show you how much you have. That took me a minute to figure out. But now we have pants. We've paid them. Now we can go walk around. Because if you go into Monolith Burger without the pants and shoes, you'll see a sign behind him that says no pants, no shirt, no service. So that's why we had to go get his pants first. And there is a sign that does say help wanted. So we're going to go ahead and apply for a job. Say, yes, I am hard up for cash. And for this, I just wanted to show the arcade sequence for it. So I said, go ahead. And what you have to do is you have to put lettuce, relish, mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup, and a bun before it gets to the end. Super easy, right? At the beginning, it is. Like, it's sped up right now for gameplay purposes, but initially it starts off pretty slow, but you'll see it start to speed up and it starts getting way harder to try to finish it. And what'll happen is you mess up, I think, 3 times, and he'll fire you and kick you out, which you actually need to happen. Because what'll happen is he'll throw his cigar at you, and the cigar lands on the terminal, which you'll see here in a moment, and you follow it down. So there it is. Got fired. There goes the cigar. So now we have to go chase it. Even though you don't see it, don't worry, it's there. It just somehow rolled really far ahead of you and got to the end of the terminal. So now we have a cigar. We have $7 and a cigar, I should say. So you can, now you'll see the software place is open now that we've done the monolith burger thing. But he says, hey, all of our software got bought out by all the crazy people who came in here. So what you need to do is look in the bargain bin. There's a couple games. You see parodies instead of Loom. There's Boom. Move the games out of the way. Oh, what's this? A Space Quest 4 hint book? Well, we're playing Space Quest 4. This sounds like the perfect thing to get. So let's go ahead and purchase that Space Quest 4 hint book from Sierra. We're going to go ahead and keep that, pay him for that. So now we have the hint book. But is it really the hint book? It is not. So this took me a second. You have the highlighter pen like the old school hint books. And you'll see I'm clicking in the boxes and it says that does nothing, that does nothing. So I couldn't figure out for a while how to make it work. So what you actually have to do is you have to click the black dot next to it. And you'll see the clues appear based off what these things are saying. And in the hint book, it's all these outrageous things that don't really apply to the game, except for a few places. So there is that where we just got a part of a code, which that is the other half of the code that we got from the wrapper. And I went through it too quick, but in the previous page, there was a code about 6959, whatever. And the clue specifically says, I'm standing in a computer room with a huge eye thing. What do I do? And it says, put in this code. That didn't work. Okay, try this code. And it's the longer code, which actually does work. So we technically can go back to Monolith Burgers. I don't know how many times and reapply for the job. And here's where I make a mistake. I forgot about the ATM card. I forgot that I need to buy that part for the pocket terminal thing. So just going to describe real quick. You're going to see it flash at the bottom, even in the non-commentary play, because now you can see the women's store is closed. I am technically at a dead end, but I don't know it yet. So I'm going to go in here and try to do the thing where you have to avoid the sequel police. I do love how the struggle is real if you try to walk opposite. And then you're going to see it right there. Fast forward, I forgot to do something that led to a dead end, which is now that the women's store is closed, I can't get the women's clothing thing. So this is all fast forwarded. I wanted to leave it in here to show that you can dead end and how painful it is, because that whole thing of trying to get out of the skaterama is a pain without dying, because it does seem very random. Even when you make it out of the skaterama, if doing it the right way, there seems to be a chance that one of the sequel police will be on the terminal and shoot you and kill you. So I wanted to leave this in here and show how many times I died trying to do this. And this is knowing the pattern that you have to do, where you go in, go up, go left, or I'm sorry, go in, go up, go down, go left, go up, go down, exit. And then randomly I got flashes by real quick, but there was 2 Space Quest errors. There was also a weird bug where at one time I was also shot just as I was at the end of the screen, so I loaded into the screen, and you see Roger dying, coming back, dying, coming back, dying, coming back, and then it gave me a Space Quest error. So here I am still going. I'm on the next planet now, thinking everything is fine. And I want to show you how far I get. That's why I left all of this in until I realize I dead end. So I'll probably speed this through again because it is a long time of stuff, or a lot of stuff that I did before I realized I had dead end. I'm about to realize right about now that I hit the dead end. Because the credits is 1,000 and it says you don't have enough. And I realize then and there, damn it, I need to dress up as a woman and do the ATM card thing. But the problem is, once you've done all the stuff, I'll show you over here, the women's store is closed. So that means everything I just did was a waste of time. So I need to restore all the way back to literally where I just got the money and the cigar, and the women's store is still open. So you have to make sure to make enough at the Monolith Burgers to be able to afford this, which I don't think I had enough yet. I think I had $7, which isn't enough. And so if you don't pay, she'll kick you out, but keep the clothes and the wig, which you're about to see when I realize, oh damn it, I only have $7 to my or $7 to my name, and boom, she kicks you out. So now, since I already showed what the arcade sequence was for the Monolith Burgers, what I'm going to do this time, once I get to Monolith Burgers, this alien is in my way. What I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and apply for the job again. Like I said, you can apply multiple times. I don't know what the maximum is, or if there is even a maximum. I do wonder, since I had forgotten to get the woman's thing, I'm going to go ahead and whip out and just take the cash, which is like 68 bucksoids. But I do wonder, since I did forget to do the ATM card thing and dress as a woman, I wonder if you can come to Monolith Burger and just keep repeating that over and over and over again to get enough to have 1,999 buckazoids, which on average would mean you'd have to do that 34 times. So I don't know which would have been easier, doing that 34 times and saying skip, if it is even possible, or restoring and doing the Skaterama thing all over again. In hindsight, probably checking if Monolith Burger would have hired me and fired me 34 times may have been the route to go. So now we have the buckazoids enough because we just got 68 buckazoids or something like that. So now we can afford it. So that means I'm going to have to redo everything, and I'll this time explain how I did all the stuff that I did. So first we're going to head back to the ATM now that Roger looks like a woman. We're going to go ahead and use that ATM card. Step out of the way. Puts in the card, does the scan, looks like you, and what you want to do is withdraw funds and clean it out. I suppose you could have checked the balance beforehand, but I just know that that gives you enough. I think it gives you like 2,000 buckazoids, which is just enough because the thing is 1,999. So we're going to go into Hurt So Good. And when I went in during the fast forward where I messed up, one of the things you have to do is look at the part. So I'd looked at the part, so I already know it's the bottom one, the bottom right. Now, for you, it may be different. Similar to the codes that land you everywhere, this is a random thing, I believe. So you'll normally finish them all, go over there, get to the part where I was at, where you bypass the lasers and stuff like that, look at the thing and go, okay, well that's the adapter I need, and then have to come back here, which is why I say it's important to write down the code every time you land somewhere, so you do have it. So anyway, as Roger, you're going to go over here, you're going to go back into your normal clothes, and we're going to head out. So Roger is struggling to get over to the thing. Now is the Skaterama thing. Now you can see the software place is closed because we've gotten the hint book. There's So Good is still open. Monolith, I think, always stays open. And the Big and Tall. And now first we need to trigger the arcade sequence. So what you're going to do is you're going to go in the arcade to the right side, go to the very top. Once that guy exits out, you want to exit as quickly as you can. Now what you have to do is you're going to get into the arena. Now, you do not want to enter in from that side. However, as you're about to see, Roger is about to get shot. So we're going to do this again. Let's see, he goes out. He'll search. Now what you need to do is go the other way. And you do not actually want to enter in the ring on this side. Wait, this is the side you want to enter in. Yeah. So you enter in, you go up. You have to wait for both of them to shoot at you. Go down, go left, and then go back up. They both have to shoot at you. Go down and exit. But see, there is the random chance that there is going to be a guy sitting there. And also, you have to keep moving while you're floating, or else they'll shoot and kill you like that. Now, the frustrating part is when you have to go up, sometimes it gets into the menu area if you're trying to do it in a hurry. And also, I recommend when you go into the Skaterama, put the speed on maximum. Because if you do slow, I feel like Roger moves so slow that he can't get out of there in time. So now we've gotten out. We're going to hit the thing. And what we have to do now is enter in a code that we previously written. We're going to go back to Xenon. So that's why I'm looking at the sheet that I wrote down the code for and then trying to find the corresponding code within the game on that pad. Or I'm sorry, not Xenon. We go to Uranus Flats, I believe it's called. I forgot that we have to do this part over again too. So we're going to go in here. All of this is Space Quest 1, which I thought was amazing. Even the save screen looks similar to Space Quest 1. So I thought that was great. And then I actually love this part that comes up where you talk to the three guys at the bar. And, you know, you say, hey, what's up? And they're like, ooh, look at you, Mr. VGA. And they get pretty saucy that you're 256 color and they kick you out. So what you're going to do now is you're going to be like, you know what? Screw these guys. See how it looks like the Space Quest 1 save, sort of? What you're going to do is you're going to kick their bikes over, and they're going to come out and try to find you. So he hides behind Tiny, and he goes, whew, hey, wait, how did they get out of the force field? But don't worry, they'll come back. So when I played before, they come at you and dodge. So you just dodge them right before they hit you. You're going to pick up the matchbook, and literally that's the only reason we're here. We get to leave now. So when you go up, there's also another attempt to run you over. Now you just get in the ship, and now we're going to go to Xenon. So go ahead and find the code that you hopefully wrote down for Xenon and punch that code in. All right, so we're back at Xenon. We're going to go ahead and go left twice. And what we're going to do is, you remember earlier when you went into the sewer thing next to the mat, there was a jar. You picked up the jar. You got the slime from the sewer. you'd put that on the lock to bypass the lock, because it eats through the lock. And then you have to take the cigar and the matches you got, and you light it, and you'll see, oh, there's lasers. Now, I am sure there is probably someone out there who posted what the three codes are to get it off the first shot. Someone's probably figured that out. I didn't want to do that. I want to do the code on myself and try to get these lined up. I did it the first time after many tries through the speed where I had to restore. So here I am trying again to line up these three damn lasers so that they're straight up and down. So that one looks good. Now we have the first one done. We're going to go ahead and save that. I think I may accidentally, because you can hit return and it'll go down to the next one, but so now we have the second one. But now I think I mess up the third one again. I could restore, but wasn't too bad. See, I accidentally moved the first one, so I restore. There we go. And then I did it again. So, but now I know exactly the position that they're both in and how to pretty much get them back. Slightly. So it's a matter of math. You can't, the cylinder can't go more than 360, so you can't tell it 370. So if you have to undershoot, you have to compensate for the undershoot. So there it is. All three are lined up and should be good to go. Now the thing is, I've already looked here and saw that from the first time I messed up. So now it looks like it should fit, but I'm still doing something wrong. So this took me a while to figure out, like, okay, well, somehow the pocket thing connects here. I just need to figure it out. Now, the important thing, if you looked at my inventory, the Pocket Pal thing doesn't have any power. That would be because the battery is still out of it. So we're going to go ahead and put the battery in there, and now we should be good. Right? Everything should be fine. Except for he was waiting for me right there to kill me. So restore back. We're going to try this again to before he was coming towards us. And we're going to go try. Still nothing. So even though we got it to fit, it doesn't quite work right there. And doesn't matter. I think, yeah, it's going to kill me again. You have to physically leave all the way, which I don't. I figured I'd just wait here, see if he comes in. Couldn't remember if he actually followed all the way, which doesn't look like he does. And I'd assume that he's going back, but no, he's waiting for me to kill me. So we'll put the battery in. Looks like we're good to go. Yep. All right. Now I'm saving it with the battery and the Pocket Pal. So let's go ahead and move on. So that way if the thing comes, it won't kill me. So I'm just going to pass, walk around. And this took me a while. I was trying to map where everything was. And in that terminal there, we can connect to the Pocket Pal. And you can look to see where the robots are. So you kind of get a feel for where they're at. And there happens to be one right there. Wait for that one. And then we're going to try to go around. So move out of the way. I'm going to try to go this way because there is a way over. There it is. So there's a way into this cavern. And remember when I said, hey, in that Space Quest 4 book, there's a part of a clue where it says, hey, I'm standing here and there's like a big eye computer thing. What do I do? And it's right there. So if you read that, it says, 69658476, and I set the other number too fast. So you go over here, put this number in, enter. Now I make a small mistake here. So this looks like a little terminal. It looks like I got King's Quest whatever, Space Quest 4, and Leash 34. And that looks like a droid, so I'm going to go ahead and flush it, which now should disable the droid. And it took me a second to figure out how to get out of that screen. You have to click the left to minimize it. So we have flushed the robot, so the robots should no longer be patrolling. Spoiler alert, there was something else I was supposed to do, but we'll get to that in a second. Sorry, I'm trying to make my way over to get on top. Oh, then we go down into this thing. Zoop. All right, cool. So now we're doing good. Now we're over here. And now I couldn't remember if you had to be on a specific side to do this segment area. But these things start shooting at you and they fire, I think, 6 or 7 shots. Yeah, 7. So on the 7th shot, it always kills you. So I was trying to dodge and see if something happened. Nope, that's not it either. They always hit you on the 7th. All right, so since I still have the Energizer Bunny, do we have to do something with the Energizer Bunny? Let's try it. All right, let's do something with the Energizer. Ah, I have the Energizer Bunny. Nope, these guys don't want anything to do with the Energizer Bunny. Pew, 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 pew. So now I'm gonna try to get out, but don't make it. So now, so you can die that way too. So pew, 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 pew. So I'm gonna try the other side and see if there's something over here that I'm maybe missing. But no, go back and I realize maybe there's some way to disable that computer. So I'm going to go ahead and make my way all the way back to the computer where we flushed the droid and see if there's a way to do something. So obviously it's not the King's Quest games, so you flush the thing that looks like a brain. So initiating formatting sequence. I just messed around with that. So you can see now time for reformat. And there's a timer. Now, I can't remember if this timer reaches all the way to the bottom if you just lose. Because what's happening, you'll find out here in a moment, is something is going on between Valhall and your son. So I couldn't remember if you had to beat the timer, which I'm sure you do, or else something bad happens. So we're going to go ahead and go in here and notice, oh, the energy balls don't attack. Oh, and you discover Valhall has taken over the body of your son, and he kind of likes it. He thinks it's the perfect form of cruelty, and he throws a disc that has your son's personality on it. Now it's a fight. But as the fight continues, you see that timer still ticking, so we got to do this quick. And I'm not sure if it's random or if you have to time it perfectly, but I think after you throw him down 3 times, he falls into that. And he goes into a status field, basically. So now you got to climb down, and automatically when you climb back up, which is really odd, you have a disc, which looks like a Sierra disc. And what you're going to want to do is swap it and then upload your son's personality back into his body. And then from here, you pretty much enjoy a cutscene. And Roger seems very confused by everything that's happened. He's not sure what any of this time stuff means, how it all ties together, how this guy is Roger's son, like who's the mom. And the son says, oh, there's so much I want to tell you, but I can't. But mom was awesome. Her name was Beatrice. And then in a moment, he's about to show a hologram. Go ahead, Roger Wilco Jr., show the hologram. So there she is. That would be, I don't know if that's Roger's wife, but that is who Roger has this son with. And he does say she was great, indicating something has happened to her. And then Roger says, well, what do you mean was? And again, he says, I wish I could tell you. I've got to send you back, though. And he goes back through the time. Whee! And there he is. So many unanswered questions, and I guess that's going to be for another Space Quest, which they actually never address because they do Space Quest 5 and 6, and it never really comes up again. So, once again, that's it. Space Quest 4 is complete. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, smash the notification button, and by all means, please tell other people about it and share this video. I would love to get more views and more followers.